Well, as you can see, it's got a ways to go. That's okay. I got other things I can do for a little bit. I was just kind of hoping to get it moved early so that when I put it to the next setting, which is the last setting there, it'd be ready to move tomorrow morning. Oh well. Bright spots happening over here. There it is. Feels good out here. It really does. And there's a dew, but it's not down to ground level yet. Those bins over there are slightly wet on top. The top of the cars were wet, but stuff over here doesn't seem to be wet. Trying to figure that out. We end up with a low of what, 75, and our dew point is 61, I believe. We didn't make it to the dew point. How come there's a dew? Riddle me that. Cow shots. Dusty stuff. We didn't add any molasses or any oil, which, yeah, makes it dustier, but come on, when it's 95 degrees out, or it's going to be, and it's like in the 80s. Yeah. Didn't waste any time filming. No waste of time in the bin. I mean, doing it this way isn't bad. If you're throwing the creep feeders, you don't got to deal with it. Oh, but in here, yeah. But they're eating it. Aren't you, Minnie Moo? You don't know where to go. You're just sniffing butts. We do need to get the creep feeder out. My plan was to, the other morning, after we ground feed, the next morning, my plan was to get another grinder mixer full and get the creep feeders out. The calves over here in this bunch, a good share of them get their heads in the feeder. They got their own section up there, plus a few of them sneak in between. And these guys get the better grain, which we've got more coming Thursday sometime. I wish they could pin it down and give me a time, but I'm lucky to get the day. But there's a bale wagon in the way and 3 stacks of hay sitting out there. Get the bale wagon out of the way, and yeah, they can get to it. It's a pain in the ass. That puts them in a bad position to try to get out. So, you know, just means I either push them out of the driveway or pull them out. But if I'm not here, all they're going to do is tear the driveway up, and then I can't get in and out with the truck. So it's so freaking dry. In the winter, it's not a problem. And usually it's not too much of an issue until about mid to late July. But it's so loose. I mean, how you walking across there, you about fall on your ass. Oh well, and I'm still waiting on that big traveler to make its way in. I'm thinking about going out and turning the little one on. Let it get the rest of the way in. And maybe they'll both be in at the same time, and when I get the big one moved, I can move the little one. And I was going to run the big one I may still run the big one lengthwise in the hayfield from one end to the other. But we can run a little one up there too, just filling in what got missed. And move the big one over another field. I don't know. We'll see. All depends on if it won't get moved there today anyway. The big one won't. It's got one more setting up where it is. And I'm on my own today, so tomorrow number 1 will be here. Kind of toying with the idea of maybe getting some hay moved in the back barn so I can put some of this in, but this needs to get moved over in front of the horses, and that pretty much means I got a whole bunch of hay to move out. And it's already too hot to sit in that bale loader. That thing needs a different engine and air conditioning. Here's what I spent part of my morning doing. Doesn't that look ugly? It is ugly. For lack of anything better, there's 2 zip ties to help melt that together. That's been cracked for years, but it finally finished breaking off here across So, yeah, see how long it holds up. And there, you can see how much farther it's got to go. That's probably another hour. It's already almost 10 o'clock now. And yes, I fed late because I was doing other stuff this morning. Doing my normal stuff. Then I had to do number one stuff. It's already warm out. Thank God it's not going to be 116 today. They're saying 94, 95 in Portland, so we're probably still going to hit 100 here. I wouldn't doubt it. I probably should have shut the doors already. Trying to figure out how I can set the head on here by myself. Using the skid steer with the fork extension on it to reach that. And then the fun part is the head's got to swing out to fit underneath the damn valve up there. All little things that kind of make it like I really need 2 more sets of hands. I took it out with the skid steer. We used the come along off of it so that 2 of us could actually work it to get it loose and pull it up, and then I swung it out of the way with the skid steer. I just about need a set of hands on it so I can swing it in place and then figure out how to set it down, and a come along is not the best way to set it down. So I'm still thinking on that. Cherry picker would be great, but it's down in the barn for storage to get it out of here because it took up too much space. And at this point in time, there's no way to get it in here. There really isn't. I mean, even if I could get it right there where Rennie's sitting, time we got it back far enough, I don't know. You know, back far enough to clear everything so we can slide it in. It may still be an option. I can set it in here with the skid steer, I think. I don't know. Got to get this done, though. Plus a bunch of baling. Thinking about cutting some today. Maybe get some raked up with the double rakes just because hopefully tomorrow we'll be baling. I don't think we're going to do it today. It's too freaking dry. Have to get on it fairly early tomorrow when there's a little bit of moisture to it. We'll see what happens though. Well, the adults is right there. There's 2 chicks in frame here. See if I can find them. There's one. The other one is next to the adult now. Where'd we go? I went uphill too far. Alright, the adult's farthest away and the 2 chicks are below. And the other adult is up above with the other chick. And I'm sure I'm totally missed them because I can't find them on here. But anyway, well, looks like they're going to run Crimson today. 2 machines. Fingers are wet. Phone doesn't want to work, even though it's made to work when it's wet. Yeah. They go past here and they're going to go up to the next road on the right. And they're going to go up that road. They'll be right behind that reprod up there above this field. They got a big field and a little field there to do. Then they'll come back onto this one. And then they'll come back on the couple down the road. So, I'll bet you they weren't running yesterday, but I know of a couple that were, and that's not the brightest thing for yesterday, but you know. Well, guess what I'm doing? There's actually some color to it, which surprises me because there really wasn't any color when it was cut. The bad thing is I know it's going to sit here till tomorrow because I'm sure it's too dry to make a bale now, and I'd love to put 3 or 4 rows together, but unfortunately, and I can stretch this thing out and catch 3, but that doesn't turn to 1, it doesn't get it off the ground. And that's pretty much stretched all the way out, I think. If I remember right, 27 feet. And there's a gray digger standing over there between 2 windrows, probably right next to where there's a big hole. He's just standing there taunting me. If I had something to get him with, I would, but I don't. Well, anyway, neither traveler was in, so I figured I got time to rake this piece, and I can stay up here on the hill, and the other stuff that we're putting in small bales is going to get double raked, which is just farther that way. So I get done here, I'll move over there and might have Becky go shut the pump off when I move over there, and then when I get to the last field, I'll have her come pick me up. But this is going to take a little longer than expected. I'm down a gear because it's rough and running a little lower RPM as much as I can. Unfortunately, the speed adjuster on the rake, I've never been able to make it move. And you think about it, when you need to use it, you don't want to break it. So it's all on throttle as to the rake speed. And I don't need to overspeed it and beat it up. And we've run this for 5 or 6 years. It's been a good rake, and it's not new. It's a 99 model. It's got a couple broken teeth this year so far, but I mean, you expect that. That happens, especially when you're in pasture. Go for ground like this that was disked and left rough. One reason we need rain, but it can wait. If we can get done with hay, then we can get the disc going. Unfortunately, until the Verso's done, the 3394 that's on the big baler is the only thing we got to disc with. I mean, we could put it on the International. It's pulled it a lot too, but the 3394 pulls it so much better in these hills. The International, you end up carrying it too much. And we'll hope that we don't end up with Mother Nature screwing too much with windrows today. It's been a little breezy, but not bad. But I don't need to try chasing windrows later. Don't need them over at the neighbors. So anyway, hey, you know what I'm doing? Bit of difference in rakes, if you can see him over there. Sorry, it's a little rough here, actually. I'll just stop for a second. That's one of them old ancient buggers. 2 big wheels on the front, little wheels on the back. Double raking that so we can bale it tomorrow. There you get a little better look. Then we go from that to this. Guess I need to work on him again, try to sell him one of our old rakes. Kind of thought I had a deal worked with him last year. I was going to sell him one of our old rakes. All 3 of them, old ones, are in good shape. And part trade for a yard ornament. Had a price kind of figured about what to allow for his, and you know, either he forgot about it or just didn't want to spend the money. I don't know. Anyway, this piece is all but done. Do corners here, and I got the very back I still got to finish up. Pinches off, so there's a little piece back there. It's got like maybe 2 passes in it, the corners. Most of it's corners. I'm trying not to do any more corners than I have to. I think there's one I'm not going to do because there's only like 2 little tiny spots I didn't get. Actually, it'll be 2. That corner right there I'm not going to do. And the one over there toward his barn I'm not going to do. And I'm hoping I catch all of this so I don't have to come back on it. I will do this corner. I don't want to, but, you know, she'd have a hard time picking stuff up. Give her something to complain about. Come on, baby. That's bad when you gotta use a turner brake to get around tight enough to catch it, right? But I did. I'm going to sneak this one over so I got more room to get out of here when I leave. And if you notice, the rows aren't very straight. Mother Nature played, so I was moving way over one direction or the other to catch what was in between the windrows. It happens. I figure I'll give her fair warning. There's a few that are a little like that. I don't know if you can tell on the video or not, but look how green it is where it's been covered up for the last week. It ain't gonna grow. I mean, even if we got 3 or 4 inches of rain when we got done here, this won't grow enough to do anything. Get you a little bit of that last field I finished up, but I kind of blew that one. Now it's a little late. It's over there. A couple miles. Right next to where they had that fire yesterday. Literally right next to it. It was a neighbor's place. I couldn't see anything. There's too many trees along the property line. The last piece I did was the one that, number 1, mowed the main part of it. Well, I got video of her. And a little hazy out there. Not too bad. It was worse this morning. It's like 96 degrees right now. It's cooling off. Still too freaking warm. But the cows have been out more today than they have been the last couple days. Last 3 or 4 days anyway, because that group's all right there. Of course, you know, they're standing in the old creek bed where it's coolest. They're not stupid. Anyway, that was my day. See what happens tomorrow.